Well, thank you, Chris, and welcome to the brand room at the Goshen County Fairgrounds. We are already halfway through Fair Week. Can't believe Fair was already here yesterday, and now we're already halfway through it. And me and Ron Kaufman are here, and we'll be here all week long, doing interviews with our local 4-H and FFA participants. Glad to have you here. We got a couple of young ladies here that I think just showed some rabbits. So
Yes.
I'm going to turn it over to my grandpa, Ron. He has a lot of experience at the fairgrounds, was a 4-H agent for a long time in Torrington, and I'll let him talk to these young ladies about their projects.
So I think they're awake. I think they got up pretty early this morning, Ryan. But they look pretty sharp. One over here's kind of squinting her eyes. Maybe she's had a tough day. So give me your name.
Bailey.
Bailey, and I understand you just got through showing at the Goshen County Fair rabbits.
Yes.
And we haven't had a lot of rabbit people on the show to interview, and we're going to ask you a few questions. First of all, what club are you in?
Discovery.
Discovery, and that's a new club this year, right?
Yes.
When did you start? Was it this year or a year?
This year.
Just this year,
Yeah.
so it's brand new.
Yeah.
So you've getting a few leaders together and helping out, kind of a community club within Torrington area.
Yeah.
Okay, and you are from Torrington.
Yes.
And how old are you?
15.
Oh, freshman. We'll be a freshman. Are you ready for school?
No.
This summer's went fast, hasn't it?
Yes.
Very fast. So now let's talk about your project. Is rabbits your only project?
Yes.
So I understand you got up a little early this morning. Tell us about it and what you did.
I woke up about 5:59.
And you had to get out. Then you had to prepare for the rabbit show.
Yes.
So did you show in, what classes did you show in?
Fur.
Fur? Did you have a lot of competition?
Kind of.
Kind of. So how'd it go? How'd you place? And first of all, what's your breed of rabbits?
My first one is a Flemish Giant, purebred. Second one, Holland Lop, Holland and Lionhead. Second one, Lionhead and Holland Lop.
So, I don't know. Most people know what a lop is. You know, they got the long ears and they're pretty gentle, and they kind of like to stay close to the ground, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah. And what about the lion head? I'm not familiar with that myself.
A lion head is what they call, around their head they have like a lion's mane and a crown, so it
Really?
tightens their ears so that it's either smaller or they're really long and floppy to the ground.
Okay, so people, when they come out, they'll know what a lion head is now. You might walk by, I assume you have them in the cages
Yes.
over here at the Rabbit Barn, and that's located on the east side of the fairgrounds. So, did you show any other class other than fur?
No.
Okay, so then you did showmanship,
Yes.
and we're going to have to ask you, how do you show a rabbit?
It depends on the breed.
Okay, so did you show your lop?
I showed my Flemish Giant.
Okay, your Flemish Giant. What does it look like?
It is a pure white big boy.
So he's big.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us how you show for showmanship.
Depending on if you're going to pose him right, because you have to pose
Yeah,
him.
you have to pose him.
He's pretty good at posing by himself. Flipping over is a challenge.
So why do they flip him over? What are they looking for?
Abscess in their stomach, snuffles. So they wipe their nose on their inner paws to make sure they have all 5 toenails on the front legs and all 4 toenails on the back legs.
So that's amazing. Did the judge treat you pretty good, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did he ask you any questions during showmanship?
Yes.
Give us an example.
What is the difference between a 6th class and a 4th class?
So you can explain that to us. I don't think I know that one.
I didn't know it either.
Oh, well, I don't either.
Stumped us all.
Yeah, so we might have to go get the judge over here.
Yeah.
So, but he treated you okay. So how'd you place in showmanship? You got
first, I
Grand
believe.
champion or first?
Yeah.
First and so you're a senior.
Yes.
And I hear you're going to state fair.
Yes.
So tell us how you're going to prepare for state fair, because you're going to have to wait a week, aren't you?
I believe so. Yeah.
So what do you, first of all, before we do that, what do you feed the rabbit?
Well, they have hay pellets, and if we can't find hay pellets, hay.
Okay.
Oats as a supplement.
What's your supplement? Is that like the...
It's just oats.
Okay.
So like old-fashioned rolled oats.
Okay. And they enjoy that.
Yeah. Rabbit pellets.
Okay. Rabbit pellets are pretty important, so they're small, and you have to pick them up at certain areas.
Yes.
So that's good. So now, how are you going to prepare for state fair? Are you going to go in showmanship and fur classes?
Yes.
Tell us how you're going to...
It's gonna be more working with the rabbits,
Okay.
making sure they get enough food and water.
So how do you clean a rabbit before you show it?
You cannot clean it.
So you just...
They clean themselves.
Yeah, they pretty much take care of themselves, don't they?
Kind of.
Yeah. So, but you have to take care of the legs and those type of things.
Mhm.
What about, do they check the ears and that?
Yes, for ear mites and cankers. There we go.
Yeah, it's pretty good here. That's good. So when you go to state fair, are you going to transport your own rabbits?
Yes.
Okay, so you'll have to be careful how you do that.
Mhm.
Keep them cool, huh?
Yes.
All right. Have you been to state fair before?
No.
New experience.
Yes.
Are you going to stay?
Yeah.
You will? Yeah, probably stay in the dorm? Maybe.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
We have a friend there.
Oh, good. So that'll work out good.
Yeah.
So very good. Well, we wish you good luck, and thanks for all the information you give us. We've learned a lot today. Even I have.
Would you like to know a fun fact?
Yeah.
So you know the rabbit's feet, you cannot shave them. Do you know why?
Why?
Because when they're on those wires in there, they can get sores on their feet.
Oh, yeah. So that cushions them.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of protects them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like the dog pads,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't get sores on their feet.
Cool.
Very good. That's something I didn't know either. So you brought us some education here, plus congratulations.
Thank you.
So we'll pass it on down to the partner. And I noticed one thing. Ryan, these girls, they kind of dress up for this. Kind of tell us how you have to prepare, how you dress, and that type of thing before the show. Yeah, I think you got up a little earlier, but you're a little younger. It probably took you longer, right?
Yeah.
And your name?
Skylar.
Skylar. You're in the same club, the Discovery Club?
Yeah.
And you showed rabbits this morning. Tell us your classes and what kind of rabbits you have.
I did showmanship and fur.
Fur. How'd you do?
Good.
How'd you do in showmanship?
Got the exact same thing as Bailey.
Okay, but we have to remember she's a senior, and I think are you a junior or intermediate? I bet you're a junior.
Intermediate.
You're intermediate. So you show in a different class.
Yeah.
So you basically were the champion of the intermediates or juniors, and she was the champion of seniors.
Yeah.
So did the judge kind of ask you the same questions?
They asked about the water.
Water.
How much water you have to give to them.
Oh, interesting. So what'd you tell him?
I told him normally when it's hot outside, you have to fill the container full so they don't get overheated.
So he liked that answer, evidently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions?
No.
So tell us how you showed yours for showmanship.
So you have to check their noses and you have to show them their ears and their tattoos. And then their feet, you have to count them out loud so they know if there's any broken toenails or not.
That's interesting. Very interesting. So do you kind of brush your rabbits or anything?
Yeah.
You kind of have a comb, a certain type of comb?
Yeah.
Kind of explain how that works.
So we have a rabbit brush, so you have to like brush it so when you're up there, the hair won't go flying everywhere.
Okay. So yeah, that kind of just cleans them up, sheds them. I mean, lays their fur the same way. So very good. What color are your rabbits?
I think one. Oh. I think one's a blue tortoise shell color.
Okay,
And then one's like an orange color.
that's good. So took her a while to answer those, Ryan, but she made it. She got it done. So are you going to State Fair?
Yeah.
And that's next week. So you're going to be ready to go.
Yeah.
So you're going to enter showmanship?
Yep.
So in other words, you did qualify for State Fair. When you place, I don't know what the qualification, it used to be you have to place pretty high to go to State Fair. Is that the same nowadays?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. We'll have to ask Megan about that here shortly. So I don't know if they still have the same qualifications. I think you used to have placed first or second in your class years ago, so I assume that'd be the same way. So, girls, thanks for coming in, and you look sharp. They've got their white blouses on and their dark pants and their nice clean shoes. So we're going to let you rest a little bit. Maybe you better go get an FFA lemonade today, huh?
Yeah.
That'll cool you off. So, and good luck at State Fair, both of you. Hope you have success. And it's been a pleasure talking to both of you.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Yep.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
You bet.
Yeah, before we get the next FFA and 4-Hers on, I'd like to thank some of the sponsors that make these broadcasts possible. Clark & Associates Land Brokers, Dinklage Feed Yard, Brown Company, Eastern Wyoming College, Mike Rafferty, State Farm Insurance, Torrington Beverage, Torrington Office Supply, and Double C Seeds, some of our sponsors in part for these fair interviews, and we've got a couple more here. I'll let Grandpa introduce them for them.
Yeah, I want to talk to Megan a little bit first. Do they, it used to be you had to get first or second, I think, in your class or in your competition to go to State Fair. Are the requirements different now?
They are different, Ron.
See, I'm old.
It's
you know?
all right. It's all right. They changed that several years ago, so now it's
But
not it's not a qualifying show anymore.
Oh.
So our entries for the youth shows are kind of open to the world. The only one that gets a little complicated is, in terms of qualifications, is dogs and horse.
Okay.
Everybody else can enter, even if you were dead last in your class. You can still go on and compete at the state fair.
Okay. So that's good. So that's and with a different judge, sometimes you do place difference.
Absolutely.
I remember when I was a young man, and you guys, I'm older than dirt, you know. But I remember I had a heifer place last here, and I placed second at State Fair. So it depends a lot on the judge. So,
Yes.
and I think we have a couple girls here, Megan.
We do.
Are these both 4-H girls?
These are Cody Anderson. She's a 4-H girl, but she's also a Southeast FFA member. And Bailey Lane is a 4-H member as well.
Well, we need to hand that mic to them, and we'll let Megan rest because she's pretty busy. We'll go ahead and talk to these young people. So this young lady is in horse, I assume.
Yes.
And she didn't win many things, I don't think, Ryan. I'm not real sure. But give us your club.
I'm from Bent Barrels Crooked Arrows.
Okay, so you're in shooting sports too.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about that first. And give me your name.
I'm Cody Anderson.
Okay, and we had that once, but you know I'm forgetful. So tell us how you did at State Shoot.
So I went up to State Shoot in Douglas and I competed in .22 rifle and pistol, and then air rifle and air pistol as well, and archery. Archery was our very first day. I haven't found out my placings for that one yet. And then our air rifle team had taken second at state, and then my pistol I didn't shoot as good as I usually do, and then my rifle scores improved a lot, and I haven't quite looked at everything for my placings there yet.
So what grade are you in?
I will be going into my senior year.
Okay. So you kind of like shooting sports? How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing shooting sports since I was 8, so I've been doing it for about 9 years now.
So I understand they're pretty tough on safety, aren't they? Those
Yes.
leaders get after you
When I was little, they definitely did, but not so much anymore. I kind of
because you kind of know the rules now, correct?
Right.
Yeah. But when you're small, they're very careful. Goshen County has terrific shooting sports leaders, and they're concerned about safety. And you are required to take hunter safety, aren't you?
Yes.
When you first start.
Yes.
Okay. So you've been in it a while. That's good. So my grandson over there, I don't like to brag about him, but he's an archery person. He shoots a bow, and once in a while he gets enough meat for us that we can put it in the freezer. So that's good.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Cody. So how, like, for your 22 and well, pretty much all your events, how far the distances you shoot?
So for 22 rifle and air rifle, you shoot 20 yards, 20 feet.
I
can't
bet it's
remember.
yards.
Yeah, 20 yards. And then for archery, they all vary. So, well, for blueface, it's 20 yards, and then for your animals, it varies in between from like it can be up to like 5 yards from you, all the way to like 60 yards from you. It all kind of depends on that. They all vary. And so, yeah.
Cool.
So what kind of bow do you shoot?
I shoot a compound fishing bow.
And explain what that is.
Um,
My grandson probably knows, but I don't.
So it's like has sights for you like lined up, because if you shoot like a just like regular,
Yeah.
it doesn't really have quite like all the like nicer things on it. So you have like your sights on it, and then you also have a peep sight, which you are able to line up with your sights, and it kind of gives you like a more accurate shot there, and then you're able to have more of like a more draw, like more poundage to draw back on your bow if you also have a fishing bow and stuff like that. And a lot of kids, I don't personally use a release, but also a lot of kids that shoot those fishing bows also use a release, which is like a thing that you clip onto it and then you pull back and you just click a button and it releases it for you, and that kind of helps people be a lot more accurate too and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Any questions for Ryan?
I don't think so. I think it's just cool. There's a lot of different activities that kids can get into in 4-H and FFA. So, yeah, anything from shooting to showing rabbits to, I think, horses. You're into horses, right?
Yeah, I also show horses, dogs, and goats.
So the horse show, was it Monday?
It was Monday and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday. So Monday, what did you have? Did you have the equitation, all the, what do I want to say, the arena type, or was it a show for the breeds?
So Monday was kind of our rodeo events, and we also did some trail and ranch riding. And
'Kay.
there was one more.
English classes.
Oh, and English
English.
classes, and then working cow horse. So I competed in the trail and ranch riding, and then I also did all the rodeo events.
So in trail, they kind of give you a pattern, I assume.
Yes.
And how'd you do?
So on my first horse that I did it on, my trail pattern was pretty good. We went through it really nice. The gate was pretty easy and stuff like that, because you have to open a gate for your trail pattern and stuff. So it was pretty good on my first horse. On my second horse, who's a little bit younger, the gate was a little bit of a struggle, but we performed the pattern not too terrible, and just kind of took our time just to do it correctly and kind of get him out of every single other element and just kind of get something new to him, so that's not what his whole mind is on.
Okay, so that's good. And how'd you do? Did you place well?
I didn't get like first or second, but I think with my second horse I got third or fourth, and then
So
with
that's
my other horse.
that's not bad. There's quite a bit of competition. Did you have a bridge and all that? Kind of
Yes.
explain the trail to us. I think you have a gate, and then you might have a bridge, and you have a box. You have to do certain things. Kind of tell the audience what you do.
So for our trail pattern this year, we went through and we started in the like your roping box pretty much, and we opened up a gate right there, and then we walked out. Once we closed that gate, we walked out onto a bridge, and we walked across that bridge, and we weaved through some cones, and then you'd have to go and you'd lope into your box, and then you'd spin a 360 in your box, and then you'd come out of that box and you'd go to there was like a bucket with a barrel with a bucket on it
Yeah.
that had like a mail like envelope in it, and you'd pick up your envelope out of that bucket and you'd show it to the judge, and then you'd put it back, and then you had to walk in between two poles and back out of them, and then side pass away from those poles, and then your pattern was completed.
So that's pretty good. So you're a senior, so it's different with intermediate. Those trail classes are a little simpler for the younger kids, I
Yes.
assume. Yeah. So it sounds very good. Sounds kind of complicated. And do you get those? How soon in advance do you get the pattern so you can study the pattern?
2 weeks.
Oh, so you do. It's not just instantly. It's you have some time to study it and to practice at home.
Yes.
Okay, good. So the rodeo classes, did you do any equitation or anything of that nature?
So for the rodeo events, I did barrels, poles, and then I also breakaway roped.
Okay, so you didn't do the actual equitation or any of those things.
I did that the second day.
Oh,
So I did.
Phew.
Yeah.
Busy girl.
Yeah.
So okay, so how'd you do in the rodeo events?
So on my buckskin horse, I took first in poles and got reserve in barrels, and then I missed my calf on breakaway. And then on my gray horse, I caught my calf and missed my slack on my breakaway. So I didn't perform like extremely well in breakaway, but my barrels and poles were pretty good.
So kind of explain breakaway to the audience. After you rope the calf, what happens?
So once you rope your calf and you basically, catch and everything like that, that calf keeps running at you, and you stop your horse, and you have like this nylon string type of thing tied around your rope and then your saddle horn, and once that calf reaches that end of the rope, that nylon string breaks away, and there's a little like flag that you typically have on the end of your rope, and it waves, and then that's
Your time.
yeah, that's how you.
Very interesting, and that's something kind of new for the women, or I should say young ladies. It's very interesting, and there's some pretty good ropers. So now let's talk about the second day, since I've got the first day messed up. Let's see what you did the second day.
So our second day was our showmanship and halter classes, and then also most of like our Western riding classes. So like our Western equitation and Western riding, and like all of the rest of the events pretty much.
Okay, so did you do pretty good?
So for showmanship, I got 5th in 4-H, and then I won FFA showmanship.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you're going to state fair, I assume.
I will be going to state fair for barrels and poles, but I will not for showmanship because I have something going on the day that all happens. Okay. Yes.
So I guess we better save a few questions for our next guest. We kind of been running this young lady through. So thanks, Cody, and good luck at State Fair.
Thank you.
And we appreciate your knowledge and you coming in to tell us all about it. And there's never been as I always used to tell my spouse, that there's never been a bad 4-H member or a bad FFA member. They always are very successful in life. So we appreciate you people. Next lady we have here.
My name's Bailey Lane.
Okay, Bailey. So you're going to fill out all the voids, and she didn't have many voids. So tell us what you showed in.
So I showed in pretty much all the same classes. I did not do any of the showmanship or halter rodeo events, though. So
Okay. So you're going to be interesting to talk to, though. So we stopped Cody a little bit, Bailey. So now we're going to let you tell us about your other events. Did you do You did Western riding?
Yep.
Tell us what that is, first of all.
So actually, when I entered it, I had no idea what the class was, and it was kind of just enter it and do it, because I've never seen a Western riding class before. And basically, it's a pattern class, and you do it's basically to exhibit how well your horse does lead changes and that sort of thing, different gaits and that type of thing.
So do they judge the rider and the horse in that event?
I believe normally they just pretty much kind of how you work together as a team.
Yep,
basically.
They used to do it that way anyway. But you never know. I'm older now, so I used to coach horse judging, and there's a lot of nice events, and you have to know what you're doing and how to ride. So how'd you do in the Western?
So I honestly did not do that good. My horse was kind of being a butt about it, so I just kind of schooled on her more than anything in that class.
So do you suppose that could be because the rider was nervous?
No, I don't think it was that. It was just she's my rein cow horse, and
Oh.
she kind of likes to be a little hotter, and so just doing that was.
So that Western riding's probably too slow for her.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So what else did you do?
So I competed in the ranch riding trail, working cow horse, the Western pleasure, and then the reining.
So I want to know a little bit about Western pleasure.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I'm the person to talk to you about that one.
Kind of interesting, though, isn't it?
Yep,
How'd you do in that?
I got reserve.
Well, so you are the person to talk to. Teach these young kids. So kind of tell us what you do in Western riding.
So Western pleasure is.
Excuse me, yeah.
No, it's okay. Western pleasure is a rail class, and they judge you basically on you and your horse again as a team, and how well your horse moves, and how you can do the different gaits. It's a walk, trot, lope class, and they judge you on that. So
That's good. So did you do any lead changes?
in the Western pleasure, no, you don't do any lead changes.
But you do in Western riding, don't you?
Yep.
Okay, tell us what that is.
So a lead change is basically whichever way your horse is going. So like to the left, they'll be on the left lead, and they'll be using their left side of their body in more of a movement, I guess is the best way to explain it. And a lead change is when you ask your horse to change to the other side. So from left to right without breaking down to a trot. You do lead changes at a lope, and then vice versa, right to left, that
Yep.
sort of thing.
And a lot of times that's pretty hard to do, but you can train them.
Yep.
So you must have done all right.
Yeah.
So any other projects? Do you show anything else?
No, normally I show goats and cattle, but I just moved over to Goshen County this year, and I just decided to focus on the horses.
So
for
where
this
are you
year, so.
from?
I'm from over by Huntley.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good. That's where the smart kids went to school. That's where I went to school. But there's no longer a school there. We must have got smarter than the teachers. I don't know. So anyway, well, are you going state fair?
Yep.
Good.
Yes.
So for a week you have a chance to go practice.
Yeah.
So what are you going to exhibit at state fair?
So I'll show in the trail, ranch riding, and the working cow horse.
So did you do well in the trail?
Yes, I got reserve in that as well.
Yeah. Pretty competitive young ladies here.
Very
So
knowledgeable.
yeah, they know more than this old man does. So that's good. So thanks for coming in, girls, and good luck at state, and good luck in your next school year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Does Megan want to add anything?
So Cody's about to jet off to the dog agility show. So that's happening. Showmanship and the sheep show is finishing up. We've also got the poultry show. They're doing the cage judging and showmanship today too. Today at 4 o'clock is our goat show. So we are hopping. We are hopping
Yep.
on the 4-H and FFA side of things. I know you're about to talk about that, Mr. Kaufman,
But yeah, and they're
putting the plug in for all of our kids. They're
Yeah, no, it's-
running around a little bit today.
Showing
Yeah.
up today, it's definitely getting busier. So
Yes.
Yep, I heard them call for the lightweight lamb class when I came in, so I bet it'll be over maybe by noon, so those kids will be ready for some treats and see if they win any ribbons.
Yes.
And we'll try to have some of those kids on, Megan,
Yes.
maybe tomorrow or this afternoon even. We'll
Yes.
kind of help us out here. Megan's real good about rounding up some kids for us for the radio program, and I hope the audience has learned as much as maybe we have.
I know. These kids are a wealth of knowledge when you actually start pressing them on their 4-H
Yep.
projects.
And that's good.
Yeah,
It
it's
is. I
good to
think we
see.
have some well-spoken young people that
Yep.
get to find out about.
Well, thanks. And as Megan mentioned, today we have the sheep show, and the rabbit show was over, and the 4-H dog agility is getting ready, and the poultry show and market goat show, and the 4-H FFA team sort. That's at 6:30. And then also today, there's some things going on at the pavilion. I think they have the Johnson Memorial Team Sort, and then the lamb barbecue. That's always good. They're having that this evening about 5:30, and I think the Johnson Memorial Team Sort's about 7 o'clock. and they have the dog races at 6:30, and then they have the tug of war, I think, in the pavilion at 7. Ryan, so I think that's all I have to add today.
Yeah, no, we'll be back at about 1:05. We'll go on again this afternoon, and then Thursday we'll be interviewing kids. Thursday afternoon we'll take the morning off for the parade. I think that starts at 10, right?
I think you're right.
Parade at 10 on Thursday, and then we'll have a couple more on Friday for you, too, at 10:05 and 1:05. Before we send it back, I'd like to thank some of the sponsors that make these broadcasts possible. Platte Valley Bank, Z&W Mill, Platte River Family Dentistry, J.G. Elliott Insurance, Main Street Market, Panhandle Co-op, Pinnacle Bank, Goshen Vet Clinic, North Platte Physical Therapy, and Pine Bluff Sinclair, some of your sponsors in part for these fair interviews. So I think that should wrap it up for our morning session here at the Goshen County Fair. Come on out and enjoy it. It's in full swing now. And like I said, we'll be here till Friday. For Ron Kaufman, I'm Ryan Caith. We'll send it back to the studios at KGOS KERM.